You're with us here on Bttv. I'm Abha Bakaya and taking a look at how markets are faring today. 140 odd points on the Sensex. Nifty also just up about 0.2% right now, so it's steady at this point of time. And taking a look at some of those triggers or stocks in action today, we've got a whole host of gainers. In fact, let's pull some of those for you. We've, of course, continuing to be volatile, but names like an Emami are up and about, for example. So that's one that's surging today. That's on buyback news. We've got on the frontliners, Pharma, some select names there in action, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's. A couple of those names are looking good in today's trade as well. We've got there you go, Emami's up 6% as well. Of course, ICICI Bank, HDFC, Infi, some of the other gainers on the index today as well. On the downside, metals still lagging somewhat. OMCs are taking a bit of a correction as well. So overall, though, it's steady, no major cuts appearing anywhere. And after a couple of days of declines, just about steady so far in today's session. Let me welcome in Vinit Bolinjkar, who's joining us on the show today. Vinit, let me get your take on the market action to begin with in terms of direction and what you're anticipating.
So we are constructively positive now, given that the action that has taken place in the Western world after the banking fallout. We've had some corrective action coming in from the Fed, and since we are having the meeting come up as a big event, I expect that the markets are today range bound, although trading on the positive side. And once this event is behind us, I believe that the market will take its own move and start moving upward as we end the fiscal FY23 and start factoring in FY24 numbers.
All right, fair enough. So watching out for earnings, watching out for Fed, I mean, those are a couple of the triggers there. We've had a whole host of stocks, of course, that have hit their 52-week lows of late. Vinit, would you be buying into anything in lower levels, and that too from the broader markets as well? Because, even though we've seen this huge churn, where are valuations looking attractive to you?
So I think autos, we like FMCG, a little bit of pharma, and we are clearly staying away from IT stocks. The big alpha creators, in our opinion, is going to be in the manufacturing sector. And here we are quite bullish on both the top line as well as the mid cap and the small cap segments.
Would you be able to give us any picks, not assuming that, that you're sort of advising investment, but any suggestions of the kind of companies that you'd be looking at?
So we like KC International. We believe that it has a very strong order book, and its business is diversified across 6 to 7 segments. And we think that the valuations are quite cheap. It might have run up a bit in the recent past, but we still believe that there is a lot of value left on the table for investors to look at for the next couple of years.
Okay, so when you're when you said couple of years and you're talking about manufacturing and the kind of alpha there, what's the horizon that you're looking at and the kind of return potential? Because we've seen the segment a little slow to pick up. So assuming that capex stays on stream and we do see the kind of output come out of this entire segment, what is the kind of range we're looking at here?
So we can easily expect returns over the next 2 years of between 25 to 50%. Depending on the stocks that you're looking at. KC International, we are quite bullish about getting around 40 to 50% upside over the next couple of years.
All right. What about areas like defense? Would some of the picks there also look attractive to you? Do you feel they've already run up a fair amount?
So while a lot of the value catch-up has happened, we still believe that BDL has got a lot of value. We like HAL. And we also like Masgaon Docks.
All right, those are a couple of the stocks there. Lately, I'm just going to switch track for a moment, but just given the kind of traction we're seeing on gold, Vinit, do you feel that momentum is going to continue? Do you see it taking away from some of the interest in equities, or do you not really see it impact things too much? Because there's a move to safe haven buying, but the kind of prices we're seeing on the precious metal are phenomenal.
So See, it's an entire de-dollarization trade that are playing out. If you bear with me, we have to understand that in August, the BRICS are going to meet together to discuss a reserve currency. So while the reserve currency, the proposed BRICS currency is to be pegged to a value system. Obviously, gold is definitely going to be one of the elements that are going to go into creating the value. And when you look at that, and you look at a bet on the dollar, dollar is absolutely fiat. It has got no pegging at all, and we believe that you know globally countries have been staying away, especially in light of what has happened after the Ukraine war. The random sanctions that are slapped on them. So they would like to have a currency which is an option to the dollar, and the BRICS currency is expected to be a multifaceted currency, uh, with multiple countries gunning for it, and hence we believe that the trade will be away from the dollar, and gold will be gold will definitely be in the limelight.
Okay, fair enough. Commodities, of course, still lagging behind. I'm assuming they're not on your buy list, Vinit, given the kind of volatility we've seen there.
Pardon, could you repeat the question?
On commodities, we're continuing to see a pummeling there.
Yeah, see, we will all be taking cues from China, and with the face-off between the US and China, I think unless China does not cut on capacities, then we will not see any kind of a follow-through happening in the commodities. So commodities are expected to remain, the metals and commodities are expected to remain soft until we see a major revival in the global economy.
Okay, so that's on the commodities front. What else is looking attractive to you from the broader markets? Anything that's standing out in recent trade?
So, we are quite optimistic on Tata Motors,
Okay.
and we believe that multiple engines are going to fire. We are expecting the US, China recovery, European market sales to start picking up. They're moving into EVs. EV business will pick up as the Inflation Reduction Act and European measures for climate change start kicking in. In the Indian market, we expect autos to do rather well, given the fact that the interest rates might have peaked out, and the CV cycle continues to be strong, and we also expect the the scrappage policy start impacting the markets, and we believe that this can really do well for Tata Motors over the long run. So we are expecting a good secular run to take place among all the auto segments, barring for two-wheelers, and that should be very positive for Tata.
All right, so that's the latest on Tata Motors, and that one's starting to look attractive as well. In terms of price action, I just want to get your take on Reliance and what you feel is going to be the range on Reliance at this point of time, because valuation is looking pretty good. It continues to, of course, show returns. So, what is the kind of levels that you're tracking on that big one?
So I think over the next 2-3 months, a price of 2,500 should look attractive. We expect the stock to trade well above those levels, and with all those new impetus with regards to the hydrogen space, the clean energy, as well as the uh, geo and retail IPOs will start gaining traction. We expect that the stock will start trading well.
Okay, so 2278, that's where we're on a Reliance Industries, and that's Vinit's verdict coming in on that particular heavyweight as well. All right, so earnings actions really where we're at. I just want to get your view on some of the FMCG names as well. In terms of what you're anticipating, we're heading into summer, which is seasonally, of course, a time when all these stocks come into focus. Would you stay away, or would you perhaps look selectively into that basket?
So we like Nestle. We would be looking at Varun Beverages. HUL also, even in bad times, HUL has been very resilient, and we expect these stocks to continue to do well.
All right, great. Vinit, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. A lot of different strategies and stocks to explore there, and a quiet day for trade. Otherwise, quiet is probably good at this point of time. Steady on the Nifty above 17,000. Vinit, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.